Hello, I'm Katie St. Ors, certified financial planner, tax strategist, and producer of The Deep Dive. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 12, and today we will do a deep dive into understanding S-corporations. Okay, it looks like Elizabeth and Michael have their coffee filled and are settled in behind the microphones. So let's get going.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving deep into S-corporations today.
Oh, yeah, this is a good one.
It is. So many people are curious about this.
Absolutely.
We've got a ton of notes here from a really detailed video guide all about S-corp, and we're going to break it all down for you. By the end of this deep dive, you'll really understand what an S-corp is, the good, the bad, and even how to set one up if you decide it's the right move for you.
It's interesting because there are some really cool advantages to S-corp, especially when it comes to taxes.
Right. Okay, so let's jump into it. First things first. It seems like an S-corp isn't like a whole separate type of company, right? It's more like a tax status you pick with the IRS.
Exactly. It's a tax election. Think of it that way.
Okay.
So you're telling the IRS, hey, this is how I want to be treated for taxes.
Got it.
And that different treatment is all about something called pass-through taxation.
Yeah.
Basically, all the income, losses, deductions from your business, it all goes directly onto your personal tax return.
Interesting.
No double taxation like you see with traditional C-corp.
Okay, so that's a big deal, right? Avoiding that corporate income tax altogether.
It's huge.
That's got to be a big win for a lot of businesses.
Absolutely, especially as your company starts making more profit.
So give us an idea, how much could a company realistically save by going the S-corp route?
Well, let's say your company brings in $100,000 in profit.
Okay.
As a C-corp, you'd get hit with corporate income tax on that entire amount first.
Right.
Then, whatever you pay yourself from that profit gets taxed again on your personal return.
Ouch.
Double whammy. But with an S-corp, you completely sidestep that initial corporate tax. You only pay taxes once at your individual rate.
See, that's what I mean. It's like huge incentive right there. And there are even more advantages.
Oh, there are so many.
The video we're working from highlights some that really stood out to me.
Right.
What were some of the things that caught your eye?
It's like a trifecta of tax savings with S-corp.
Okay, lay it on me.
First, no corporate income tax like we talked about.
That's right.
Then you get that pass-through taxation. Check.
And then on top of all that, you get a break on self-employment taxes.
Whoa. Okay, break that down for me.
So only the salary you pay yourself as the owner is subject to those Social Security and Medicare taxes, not the entire profit of the business.
So you could be saving thousands.
Potentially, yeah. Thousands of dollars back in your pocket.
All right, so S-corp are looking pretty attractive at this point.
Right.
But on top of the tax benefits, you also get that limited liability protection that you usually associate with incorporating.
You got it. You're essentially shielding your personal assets.
Right. Your house, your car, all that.
Exactly.
You're separating those from your business debts and lawsuits.
Right. So if something goes wrong with the business,
Yeah.
you're not risking your personal stuff.
Now, I have heard that this protection isn't always ironclad. Are there any situations where, even with an S-corp, an owner might still be on the hook personally for business debts?
That's a great question. And it's important to remember no legal structure is foolproof.
Yeah, that makes sense. If you're doing something shady as an owner, like engaging in fraud, or if you personally guarantee a loan,
Right.
those things can pierce that corporate veil.
So basically, you could still be held liable.
Exactly. Limited liability is a big perk, but not a free pass to be reckless.
Incorporate right the first time. Trust Busy's 20 years of experience. Over 1 million entrepreneurs served since 2004. Launch your dream. Click the link below to get busy.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the good stuff,
Yeah, lots of upsides.
but I know there are always trade-offs.
Oh, for sure.
What are some of the disadvantages we should be aware of when it comes to S-corp?
Well, one thing is the eligibility requirements.
Okay.
You can only have a maximum of 100 shareholders,
Oh, wow, that's pretty limiting.
and they all have to be U.S. citizens or residents.
So if you're planning on going global or having tons of investors,
An S-corp might not be the best fit.
got it. And the video mentioned something about S-corp having more paperwork compared to, say, an LLC.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely something to consider.
What's the deal with that?
You're going to have more filings and hoops to jump through.
Okay.
Like the IRS is really particular about those owner-employee salaries.
What do you mean?
They want to make sure you're not trying to dodge those payroll taxes by taking all your profits as distributions.
I see. So how does that actually work? What are they looking at to decide what a reasonable salary is?
They consider things like your industry, your level of experience, what you actually do in the company.
Right.
And they even compare it to what similar businesses are paying their employees.
So if they think you're paying yourself too little,
They could reclassify some of those distributions as wages, and then you'd be hit with those payroll taxes after all.
gotcha. So it sounds like working closely with a tax professional is pretty crucial here.
Absolutely. It's a lot more complex than a simpler business structure.
Okay, so more paperwork, more scrutiny from the IRS.
Right.
Anything else we need to be aware of on the downside?
Well, you've got those ongoing responsibilities, too.
Right. You can't just set it up and forget about it.
Exactly. Annual reports, shareholder meetings, estimated tax payments, meticulous record keeping, all part of maintaining your S-Corp status.
All right, so let's say, hypothetically, someone's listening to this.
Yeah.
And they're thinking, okay, an S-Corp is for me.
They're ready to go for it.
What are the steps they would need to take to actually form one?
First things first, you got to choose a name for your S-Corp.
Right, and it has to meet your state's requirements.
Exactly. Then you file these documents called Articles of Incorporation with your state.
What are those exactly?
Think of them as the birth certificate of your S-Corp.
Okay.
They spell out all the basic details about your company, the name, the purpose, how it's structured, all that good stuff.
Got it. And I'm assuming you need an EIN from the IRS?
Of course. That's your tax ID number, essential for pretty much everything, opening bank accounts, filing taxes, you name it.
Right. And then comes the big moment, right?
Yeah, the moment of truth. You file Form 2553 with the IRS.
That's where you officially elect to be treated as an S-Corp.
You got it.
So there are quite a few steps involved. You've got bylaws to create, shareholder meetings to hold, stock certificates to issue. It's a whole process.
Yeah. It definitely is. And don't forget, it's not a one-time thing. You've got those ongoing responsibilities we talked about earlier, annual reports, meetings, estimated taxes, and that all-important record keeping.
Right. To keep that S-Corp status in good standing.
Exactly.
Well, I think we've covered a ton of ground here today. This has been incredibly insightful, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. We've really gotten into the nitty-gritty of S-Corp.
The benefits are clear. Those tax advantages are nothing to sneeze at.
For sure.
But there's definitely a level of complexity that comes with it.
Right. More moving parts to manage.
So it's all about weighing those factors.
And deciding if an S-Corp aligns with your goals for your business.
Exactly. So to all our listeners out there, we want to leave you with this question. Knowing everything we've talked about today, how does an S-Corp fit into your entrepreneurial journey? Could this be the structure that helps your business really take off? We've given you the tools and knowledge to start exploring, so go out there and keep diving deep.
There's so much to learn.
Okay, great. That's a wrap. And that brings us to the end of this episode's deep dive. I'm Katie St. Ors, executive producer of the show, and let me say thank you so much for listening. If you want more content on managing your money, personal finance, or small business, head over and find me on YouTube. The link is in the show notes. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next deep dive.